Welcome back to the deep dive.
Oh.
Today, we're going deep on leadership and success lessons.
Okay.
And from a maybe unexpected source.
Okay.
Benaiah, the biblical warrior.
Right.
You wanted to get past that David and Goliath story.
Yeah.
The anatomy of a giant killer.
Yeah.
This is going to be our guide. And I'm already intrigued by how this book is structured.
Uh-huh.
It's not like a normal biography.
Yeah, it's really unique.
Okay.
They frame the whole thing around, like, the anatomy of a giant killer,
I like it.
starting with heritage and family.
Okay.
So every giant killer has a history,
Okay.
but it's not like a limitation.
That's interesting because it makes me think about all those times,
Yeah.
you hear someone's story
Uh-huh.
and it's like rags to riches.
Yeah.
And it's almost like their past
Right.
is just something to overcome.
Right.
But this book's saying it's,
It's more nuanced.
yeah.
Yeah, Benaiah's story is a great example.
Okay.
We get introduced to him in 1 Chronicles 11. Right away, we're told he's the son of Jehoiada.
Son of Jehoiada.
Back then, that lineage was like a huge part of who you were.
Okay.
It could have been a source of strength.
Right.
Maybe a family known for being brave.
Right. Or it could have been something he had to kind of
But it also could have been something he needed to move beyond
break free from.
to forge his own path.
Okay, so we've got that interesting backdrop.
Yeah.
But the verse doesn't stop there.
No, it doesn't.
It goes on
Yeah.
and talks about some pretty impressive feats.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, like what?
So we learn that Benaiah killed 2 Moab champions,
Okay.
like elite warriors.
Okay.
And then there's this visual of him chasing a lion
A lion.
down into a pit and killing it
Oh my goodness.
on a snowy day.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a powerful image. It's not just like
Yeah.
fighting to survive. It's like this symbolic battle against
Yes.
this fierce predator in the harshest conditions.
Yeah.
Like what kind of mindset do you even need to have
That's a great question.
to even try that?
And it really gets at the heart of what this book's trying to explore.
Okay.
The authors point out that Benaiah wasn't just strong.
Uh-huh.
He's called a valiant man,
Okay.
which speaks to his courage.
Okay, but we all know what courage means.
Yeah.
What's so special about Benaiah's type of courage?
Well, the book is saying that true courage,
Okay.
the kind that Benaiah had,
Okay.
isn't just like this reckless bravery.
Okay.
It's about calculated risk-taking.
Okay.
It's about assessing the situation,
Okay.
having a strategy,
Got it.
and then acting decisively.
So when he faced that lion in the pit,
Yeah.
it wasn't just like a spur of the moment, oh, there's a lion, I better go fight it.
Exactly.
Okay.
It took preparation, awareness of his surroundings,
Okay.
and a willingness to seize the opportunity.
Got it.
It's preparedness meeting opportunity,
Okay.
not just blind luck
Not just being crazy.
or recklessness.
Okay, so I'm starting to see the difference here. But wouldn't anyone be terrified
Yeah,
in that situation?
of course.
Like, how does the book address that fear factor?
Well, they acknowledge that fear is a natural human response,
Uh-huh.
but they emphasize that we have a choice.
Okay.
They even quote 2 Timothy 1.7,
Okay.
which says, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
So it's about tapping into that inner strength,
Yeah.
that power to overcome those feelings of fear and act with courage instead.
Precisely. And the book uses Benaiah's story to show that courage, fueled by faith and strategy, can help us overcome seemingly impossible challenges.
Okay.
They argue that fear can paralyze us, prevent us from leading, from taking action, from achieving our goals.
And Benaiah definitely wasn't one to just sit back and wait for things to happen.
He was not.
I mean, killing a lion's one thing.
Right.
But then the book goes on to describe another incredible feat.
Yeah.
Like he fights a giant.
Right. It describes this giant Egyptian warrior, 7.5 feet tall, wielding a spear as thick as a weaver's beam.
I can't even imagine.
Can you imagine facing something like that?
It's hard to even fathom. It's
Yeah.
like a movie.
It is.
But Benaiah somehow manages to not only survive, but
Yeah.
win.
He does, and in a remarkable way,
Yeah.
the book describes how Benaiah actually disarmed the giant
What?
and then used the giant's own spear to kill him.
Wow. Talk about turning the tables.
Yeah, right.
That's incredible strength and skill.
It is.
But it also makes me think about that theme of heritage we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Benaiah being the son of Jehoiada.
Yeah.
Did that lineage, that background, play a role in how he faced these challenges?
It's interesting to consider.
Yeah.
The book suggests that our heritage could be both a source of strength and something we need to move beyond to truly fulfill our potential.
Okay.
It's not about rejecting our past,
Yeah.
but rather understanding how it shapes us and then consciously choosing the parts that empower us.
So thinking about his family history,
Yeah.
it could have instilled in him a certain level of courage, a familiarity with warfare,
Perhaps.
maybe even a legacy to uphold.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
He
he had to step out from under that shadow
Yes.
and forge his own path.
Exactly.
That's a powerful insight.
And that's a powerful insight for all of us, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Makes me think about my own family history,
Yeah.
patterns I've inherited,
Yeah.
strengths and weaknesses that have been passed down.
Right.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is.
Yeah.
And the book encourages us to reflect on those patterns,
Okay.
to identify the parts of our heritage that fuel us and the parts that might be holding us back.
Okay, so we've got this fascinating connection
Yes.
between his lineage and his incredible feats of courage,
Uh-huh.
but his journey doesn't end there.
It doesn't.
The book also talks about his move
Yes.
from the small town of Kabzeel
Yes.
to the capital city, Jerusalem.
Right. And this is where we start to see the theme of expanding your reach,
Okay.
both literally and metaphorically.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this journey and what it represents.
Well, it's not just about like physical distance.
Okay.
It's about moving from a smaller, more limited environment
Mm-hmm.
to a place of greater influence and opportunity.
Okay.
It's about stepping outside of your comfort zone
Yeah.
and embracing new challenges.
That resonates with me.
Yeah.
I think we all have those moments where we feel stuck,
Yeah.
like we're playing small.
Right.
But Benaiah's story saying that we have the power to break free from those limitations.
Exactly. And the book argues that this journey isn't about abandoning our roots or forgetting where we came from.
Okay.
It's about building upon those foundations to create something even greater.
I like that.
They use this beautiful metaphor. The horizon leans forward, offering you space to place your dreams.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
It speaks to that sense of possibility,
Yeah.
that feeling that our potential isn't limited by our starting point.
It is.
Yeah.
And they connect this to the idea of aligning your actions with your vision.
Okay.
It's about consciously taking steps
Okay.
to break free from those environmental limitations
Got it.
and pursue those dreams, no matter how big they seem.
But it's not just about dreaming, is it?
No.
The book also emphasizes the importance of action.
Absolutely.
It's about putting in the work,
Yeah.
facing those challenges, making those dreams happen.
And this leads to another key theme the book explores.
Okay.
The importance of action over words.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Okay.
How does Benaiah's story illustrate this principle?
Well, the book repeatedly points out that Benaiah didn't just talk about courage,
Mm-hmm.
he demonstrated it.
Okay.
They bring up that lion in the pit story again,
Oh, okay.
but this time to emphasize how it proved he was a man of action.
Okay.
He didn't hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't wait for someone else to deal with the problem.
Right.
He took charge and took action.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
It's easy to talk about being courageous or ambitious,
it is.
but it's our actions that truly define us.
Right.
It's about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the book ties this to how consistent action builds credibility.
Okay.
They quote Proverbs 14.23.
Okay.
All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty.
So it's about putting in the effort day after day
Yeah.
to achieve those goals,
Uh-huh.
to build a legacy of success.
Precisely.
Okay.
And Benaiah's story shows us that consistent action, not just isolated bursts of effort, is what truly makes a difference.
Okay. I think we've covered a lot of ground here
We
in
have.
this first part.
Yes.
We've explored his heritage,
We have.
his incredible feats of courage,
Yeah.
his journey to Jerusalem, the
Mhm.
importance of action over words.
Absolutely.
It's fascinating to see how all these seemingly disparate elements
Oh, yeah.
are all interconnected.
They are.
It forms this powerful narrative
It is.
of leadership and success.
It is. And we've only just scratched the surface.
Right. There's so much more to unpack in Benaiah's story. Stay tuned for part 2,
Yeah.
where we'll delve deeper into the concept of expanding your reach
Yes.
and how to turn obstacles into assets.
I'm excited for that.
Me too.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the anatomy of a giant killer.
Okay.
Last time we were talking about Benaiah's
Yeah.
remarkable acts of courage
Right.
and how he embodies that balance
Okay.
of boldness and calculated risk.
Right. And it made me think,
Yeah.
how did he go from those almost superhuman feats
Yeah.
to that position of leadership he ultimately achieved?
But
Like, wasn't he captain of King David's bodyguard?
He was, which is even more remarkable,
Okay.
considering he wasn't one of David's original mighty men.
Right.
So that tells us there was a progression there,
Okay.
a journey of influence
Okay.
that's worth examining.
And that ties directly into the book's emphasis on expanding your reach.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about Benaiah moving from Kabzeel to Jerusalem geographically.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Kabzeel was Benaiah's proving ground.
Oh.
He honed his skills,
Okay.
faced those early challenges,
Right.
established a reputation,
Yeah.
but to really make a difference,
Okay.
to lead on a higher level,
Right.
he had to step onto a larger stage.
So Jerusalem represents more than just a change of scenery. It's like leveling up in a game.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
The book highlights
Yeah.
how Benaiah's move wasn't about abandoning his roots.
Right.
It was about building upon them,
Okay.
taking what he'd learned and applying it on a broader scale.
This makes me think about anyone listening who's ever felt stuck in their career, their town, their routine.
Yeah.
That feeling of wanting to break out to make a bigger impact,
Right.
but not knowing how.
And that's where the book's advice gets really practical.
Okay.
It's not just about wanting to expand your reach.
Mm-hmm.
It's about aligning your actions with that vision.
Okay.
What specific steps
Right.
can you take to move toward that larger stage,
Okay.
that next level?
So Benaiah wouldn't have just magically ended up in King David's inner circle.
No.
There must have been deliberate choices, actions he took to put himself on that path.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The book digs into this.
Okay.
And one thing they emphasize is that Benaiah didn't shy away from challenges.
Okay.
Remember those lion-like men of Moab he defeated?
Yeah, those fierce warriors.
Yeah, it's like he was intentionally testing himself,
Okay.
pushing his limits to prove what he was capable of.
So there's a lesson here about being proactive,
Yes.
about seeking out opportunities to showcase your skills and demonstrate your value.
Yes.
But it's not just about taking any challenge, is it?
Right. The book stresses that the challenges we choose
Okay.
should align with our overall goals and vision.
Okay.
It's about being strategic,
Right.
picking those battles that will help us grow
Okay.
and move us closer to where we want to be.
This makes me think about how we often hear the advice, get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But Benaiah's story adds another layer to that.
Yeah.
It's not just about discomfort for its own sake.
Right.
It's about strategically choosing discomfort
Yes.
that aligns with your bigger ambitions.
That's a brilliant insight.
Thanks.
It's about being intentional with our choices,
Okay.
aligning those challenges with our overall vision.
Got it.
And as our influence expands,
Uh-huh.
the book says so too does the complexity of the problems we face.
So we need to constantly be learning, growing, adapting
Yes.
to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
It's like that idea of sharpening the saw,
Yeah.
always investing in yourself and your abilities.
Exactly. And the book gives some specific examples of how to do that.
Okay.
They talk about seeking out new knowledge,
Okay.
developing leadership qualities,
Got it.
building practical skills,
Uh-huh.
cultural awareness.
Okay.
It's a whole toolkit for personal and professional development.
This is starting to sound a lot like what we talk about all the time on the deep dive,
I know, right?
that learning is a lifelong journey.
It is.
But what I find really fascinating is how the book connects this personal growth
Yeah.
to the idea of making a bigger impact.
That's what makes it so relevant for our listeners.
Yeah.
They're not just trying to be better at their jobs.
Right.
They want to make a difference in the world.
Yeah.
And the book argues that expanding your reach,
Okay.
becoming more influential,
Uh-huh.
is directly tied to that desire.
But it's not just ambition for ambition's sake, is it?
No,
There's got to be a deeper motivation.
there
A
is.
sense of purpose driving this desire to expand our reach.
Absolutely. The book highlights the importance of what they call visionary leadership.
Okay.
Leaders who want to make a regional or global impact
Okay.
need to cultivate a long-term vision,
Right.
a sense of purpose that goes beyond short-term gains.
So it's not just about what we're doing today. It's about where we want to be in the future. Yes.
The legacy we want to leave behind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about having that big picture perspective.
Okay.
That sense of purpose that fuels our actions
Right.
and inspires others to join us on the journey.
And this connects to another idea the book explores.
Yeah.
This concept of turning obstacles into assets.
Right.
We touched on this earlier.
A bit.
With the story of Benaiah using the giant spear against him.
Right. That story is a powerful illustration
Yeah.
of how what seems like a disadvantage
Okay.
can actually be turned into an advantage
Right.
with the right mindset and approach.
But how do we apply that principle to the challenges we face in our own lives?
That's a great question.
I mean, not all of us are fighting literal giants.
True, but we all face metaphorical giants.
Okay.
Those obstacles that seem insurmountable, those
What?
setbacks that threaten to derail our progress.
Okay.
The book argues that instead of seeing these obstacles as defeats, we can choose to see them as opportunities for growth and innovation. So it's a mindset shift.
It is.
A way of reframing those challenges
Exactly.
so that we can learn from them and come out stronger on the other side.
Precisely. And the book gives some practical advice on how to do this.
Okay, like what?
They talk about the importance of analyzing the obstacle,
Okay,
identifying its root cause,
got it.
and then brainstorming creative solutions.
Okay.
It's about approaching the problem with a curious and resourceful mindset,
Okay.
rather than getting bogged down by negativity or frustration.
This reminds me of that quote from Thomas Edison.
Oh, yeah.
I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
I love that.
It's that spirit of experimentation,
Yeah.
that willingness to keep trying
Yeah.
until you find a solution that works.
Yeah, exactly. And the book also emphasizes the importance of seeking support from others.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to reach out to mentors, colleagues,
Right.
friends
Yeah.
who can offer a different perspective
Okay.
or provide guidance.
Yeah.
Remember, even Benaiah wasn't a lone wolf. He was part of a team, and they supported each other through those difficult times.
That's such an important point.
It is.
Sometimes we get so caught up in trying to do everything ourselves that we forget the power of collaboration.
Right.
But Benaiah's story reminds us that even the strongest warriors need a supportive team
They do.
to help them achieve their goals.
And that leads us to the final piece of this section on expanding your reach.
Okay.
The idea of building a legacy of enduring impact.
Okay.
The book argues that true leadership isn't about seeking personal gain
Okay.
or short-term success. It's about leaving a positive mark on the world,
Yeah.
about making a difference that will outlast us.
That's a powerful concept.
It is.
It makes me think about the difference between building a career and building a legacy.
Yeah.
A career is about what you achieve for yourself, but a legacy is about the impact you have on others.
Yeah,
The positive change you create in the world.
exactly. And the book encourages us to think bigger, to go beyond our individual goals,
Right.
and consider how our actions can contribute to a larger purpose.
Yeah.
They talk about the importance of leadership beyond borders,
Okay.
collaborative partnerships, building movements that will create lasting change.
So it's about finding that intersection between our passions,
Yes.
our skills, and the needs of the world.
Yeah.
It's about using our influence
It is.
to make a positive difference.
Yes.
And inspire others to do the same.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
And I think that's a perfect segue
Okay.
into the final section of our deep dive,
Okay.
where we'll explore the concept of leverage
Got it.
and how Benaiah's resourcefulness
Okay.
can inspire us to achieve great things,
Yeah.
even when we don't have all the answers
Right.
or resources at our fingertips.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been going deep on Benaiah, this kind of unsung warrior from the Bible.
Right.
And I gotta say, I'm really impressed by his resourcefulness.
That's a key theme the book emphasizes.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly relevant for us today.
Okay.
I mean, we live in a world
Yeah.
where we're constantly bombarded with these messages
Right.
about needing the perfect resources, the perfect tools,
Yeah.
the perfect circumstances
Right.
to succeed.
Like, you're not good enough unless you've got this thing.
Yeah, and Benaiah's story really challenges that.
Yeah. It makes me think about all the times I've felt stuck or limited
Right?
because I didn't have the right resources or the right connections.
And that's where the book's advice on leverage comes in.
Okay.
They argue that true success often lies not in what you have,
Okay.
but how effectively you use what's available to you.
Okay.
It's about resourcefulness,
Yeah.
creativity,
Uh-huh.
and a willingness to think outside the box.
Okay. I love that idea, but I'm also thinking easier said than done.
I know, right?
How do we actually cultivate that kind of resourcefulness?
Yeah, well, the book offers a few practical suggestions. First, they recommend doing like a resource audit.
A resource audit.
Yeah, like take stock of your skills,
Yeah.
your knowledge,
Okay.
your network,
Yeah.
your time,
Okay.
even your possessions.
Got it.
Don't focus on what's missing.
Okay.
Focus on what you do have
Mm-hmm.
and how you can leverage it
Okay.
to achieve your goals.
So it's about shifting our perspective from
Absolutely.
this scarcity mindset
Yeah.
to one of abundance.
Right.
Instead of I don't have enough,
Yeah.
we ask, what can I do with what I've got?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then once you've identified your resources,
Yeah.
it's time to get creative.
Okay.
Think outside the box.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to experiment
with
unconventional solutions.
Benaiah definitely wasn't afraid to get creative.
He wasn't.
He turned a totally impossible situation into an advantage by using the giant's own spear against him.
It's brilliant.
That's thinking on your feet.
It is.
And making the most of what's available.
Exactly. And the book highlights that this kind of resourcefulness is often born out of necessity.
Okay.
Like when we're faced with challenges, we're forced to get creative, find new solutions, push ourselves beyond our comfort zones.
So those obstacles that we see as setbacks can actually be catalysts for growth and innovation.
Precisely. And they tie this back to that quote from 2 Corinthians 12.9 we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
My grace is sufficient for you.
Okay.
For my power is made perfect in weakness.
It's a powerful reminder that our perceived weaknesses can become our greatest strengths if we look at them with the right mindset.
Absolutely.
But I think it's also important to remember we don't have to do it all alone.
No, you don't.
The book also emphasizes the importance of collaboration, right?
Absolutely. Leverage isn't just about what you can do.
Okay.
It's also about leveraging the strengths of others.
Right.
Remember, Benaiah wasn't a lone wolf.
Right.
He was part of King David's army, and they worked together to achieve their goals.
That's a great point. It reminds me of that African proverb.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
I love that.
Sometimes we get so caught up in trying to prove ourselves that we forget the power of teamwork and collaboration.
Right. And the book encourages us to build those strategic alliances.
Okay.
To find people who complement our skills, who can help us achieve more than we could on our own.
Right.
It's recognizing that we don't have to have all the answers.
Okay.
That it's okay to ask for help and support.
So we've talked about resourcefulness,
Yeah.
creativity, collaboration.
Yeah.
But what about the emotional side?
Yeah.
How do we stay motivated and resilient?
Yeah, that's a great question.
When we face those inevitable setbacks.
Right, and that's where the book's emphasis on faith and perseverance comes in.
Okay.
They argue that true giant killers are not only skilled and resourceful, but they also possess this unwavering belief in their ability to succeed, even when things get tough.
And that faith doesn't have to be religious, right?
No, not at all.
It can be a belief in a higher purpose.
It can.
A belief in your own potential.
Absolutely.
A belief in the power of hard work
and
determination.
Exactly. And it's that belief that fuels our perseverance.
Okay.
That helps us get back up when we fall.
Yeah.
Learn from our mistakes.
Right.
And keep moving forward towards our goals.
It's like that quote from Winston Churchill.
Oh, yeah.
Success is not final. Failure is not fatal.
Yeah.
It is the courage to continue that counts.
Exactly. And Benaiah's story is a testament to that courage.
Okay.
That unwavering commitment to excellence.
Yeah.
Even in the face of adversity.
Wow, we've covered so much in this deep dive.
I know, right?
From understanding the importance of heritage to expanding our reach to the power of leverage and perseverance.
Yes.
Benaiah's story is full of incredible lessons for us today.
It is. And what's truly remarkable is that these lessons are timeless.
Right.
They're just as relevant for us in the 21st century as they were for Benaiah in biblical times.
So as we wrap up, here's a final thought for you listeners. What lions stand between you and your goals?
That's a great question.
And how can you apply Benaiah's approach to face them with courage, strategy, and resourcefulness?
Keep diving deep. Keep learning. Keep growing.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe you'll be slaying your own giants before you know it.
That's right. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Yes, thank you.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
For another fascinating exploration of the topics that matter to you.